Core inflation. The long-run trend of pricing level. When economists talk about inflation, they're referring to the rate at which prices for goods and services are rising. Inflation is measured using various indices, such as the Consumer Price Index, CPI, or the Producer Price Index, PPI, which track the prices of a basket of goods and services over time. Now, here's where things get interesting. Inflation can be influenced by temporary factors, like fluctuations in energy prices, food prices, or other volatile components. These short-term fluctuations can distort the true underlying trend of inflation, making it difficult to get a clear read on where prices are headed in the long term. That's where core inflation comes into play. Core inflation strips away these volatile components, focusing instead on the underlying trend in prices. Core inflation typically excludes volatile components of the Consumer Price Index, CPI, or other inflation indices. While the exact components excluded may vary depending on the specific measure of core inflation used, here are some common exclusions. Exclusion 1: Food and beverages. Prices for food and beverages can be subject to significant short-term fluctuations due to factors like weather conditions, supply chain disruptions, and changes in consumer demand. Excluding these items from core inflation helps to smooth out these fluctuations and focus on the underlying trend in prices. Exclusion 2: Energy. Energy prices, including gasoline, heating oil, and electricity, can also be highly volatile, driven by factors like changes in global oil markets, geopolitical events, and weather patterns. By excluding energy prices from core inflation, economists aim to capture the broader trend in inflationary pressures without being unduly influenced by short-term fluctuations in energy costs. Exclusion 3: Non-core goods and services. Some measures of core inflation may also exclude other categories of goods and services that exhibit high volatility or are subject to temporary factors. This could include items like volatile commodity prices, seasonal goods, or items affected by government policies, such as tobacco or alcohol taxes. Core inflation typically includes a broad range of goods and services, providing a comprehensive measure of underlying price trends in the economy. They generally include items that are considered less volatile and more representative of ongoing inflationary pressures. Here are some common components included in core inflation. Inclusion 1: Housing. Core inflation often includes housing-related expenses, such as rent, homeowners' equivalent rent, which means the amount a homeowner would pay to rent their home, and utilities. These costs tend to be relatively stable over time and are essential for households, making them key components of core inflation. Inclusion 2: Services. Core inflation typically includes a wide range of services, including healthcare, education, transportation, and recreation. These services account for a significant portion of consumer spending and tend to exhibit more stable price trends compared to goods. Inclusion 3: Durables and non-durables. Core inflation may include both durable goods, which are items expected to last for an extended period, such as appliances, furniture, and vehicles, and non-durable goods including items consumed relatively quickly, such as clothing, toiletries, and groceries. While these categories can be subject to some volatility, they are generally less volatile than items like food and energy. So, why do economists care about core inflation? Well, it helps them make more informed decisions about monetary policy. Central banks, like the Federal Reserve in the United States, use monetary policy tools, such as interest rates, to manage inflation and stabilize the economy. By focusing on core inflation, central banks can better gauge the true state of the economy and make more effective policy decisions. For example, if core inflation is rising steadily, it may signal that the economy is overheating, and the central bank may need to raise interest rates to cool things down. On the other hand, if core inflation is falling, it may indicate that the economy is slowing, and the central bank may need to lower interest rates to stimulate growth. Core inflation is also important for businesses, policymakers, and investors, as it provides valuable insight into future price trends and helps them make more informed decisions about spending, investing, and planning for the future. So, core inflation is like a steady beacon in the stormy seas of economic data, providing a clearer picture of underlying price trends by excluding volatile factors. Whether you're a central banker, a business owner, or just a curious observer of the economy, understanding core inflation can help you navigate the ever-changing economic landscape with confidence. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button or subscribe button for more interesting topics.